Great. So career acceleration, literally this topic is very controversial. Like career means long-term working somewhere. Acceleration means go fast. So it's like saying go fast, slow, or go slowly, fast. Doesn't make any sense. But I think what they're trying to say with this topic is when you entered an organization, you probably had a vision of where you wanted to be. So maybe you want to be a director, a CEO, you want to be the head of the organization, and you had a time frame you had in your mind. The question is, how do you do that and how do you do that fast? And I'm hoping that I can help you do that or understand how to do that. The first thing I want us to do is rethink career. A lot of people think that when you have a job, your job is to, or when you have a job, all you have to do is work and do exactly what they want you to do. And that everything you're doing is for the CEO or for the chairman or for the person who hired you or for your boss. I heard this a long time ago by a guy called Jim Rohn, and it changed my life. He said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And for me, this is my ethos and the sole purpose of my career. Everything you're doing at your job is not for anybody else, it's for you. And this should be your mindset. Because everything you do develops a skill, and that skill stays with you. So if you're taught how to write letters, and your boss says write 500 letters in a week, guess what? You might grumble, you might say she's wicked or he's wicked, but if you can write 500 letters in a week, guess what you have? The ability to write 500 letters in a week. Nobody can take that away from you. So let's show you how you can accelerate your career. The first thing is take ownership. And this is one thing that every boss is looking for. They're looking for the employee who thinks and behaves as though the business is theirs. Anybody that walks into an organization, even if you're a gate man, and you take complete ownership of the business, you will be noticed. People will realize that there's something that people say that gets me pissed. It's not my job. I don't understand that term. So someone comes in and says, hello, I'd like to see so and so. I'm not the receptionist. And you go away. That's terrible. Every job that has to be done in an organization is your job. If you don't know how to do it, learn it. If you don't know how to learn it, know who knows how to do it, and always be helpful. So take ownership. Behave as though the business is yours. A lot of times, people want to own their businesses at the end of the day. But when they work with someone, they work like an employee. What happens is you've reconditioned your mind, like that lion, to think like an employee, such that when you own your own business, guess what? You're going to be an employee. You can't take ownership. You can't behave like an owner. You can't behave like a CEO because you never trained yourself to do that. Number two, be excellent. No matter what it is you're given to do, be excellent. If you're asked to send a mail, send it excellently. If you're asked to do a proposal, make sure it's excellent. If you're asked to give a talk, make sure it's excellent. Make sure that you're known for excellence. If people know that whenever a task is given to you is done properly, they'll always give the task to you. And they'll be rest assured that you'll do something great. If your boss is always asking you to send it to him or her to review before you send it out, that's a sign that it's not excellent. If you're new on the job and they're asking for that at the beginning, then that's fine. But if after 1 year of working, they're still asking you to send a mail to them to review before you send it out, that's bad. It means they don't trust you. It means you're not excellent. So you need to be excellent, and that's the only way you gain trust, right? And that's the only way you gain more responsibility. 3, be creative. There's always the mold way to think about things. And I'm sure everybody that works here, when they see this picture, they probably think about Mimshach. Because when you come to my office, it's like, literally, that's exactly what you see on the wall. But there's this prescribed way to do it. Everybody already thinks about it that way. So if you say, how do you get to the junction, enter a cab? Do you think I didn't know I should take a cab before I came to come and ask you? Like, duh, I knew I should take a cab. But I'm expecting that you tell me something different. And guess what happens when I ask you, how do I get to the gate? And you give me 4 different options. Guess what happens next time? I'll come to you. I'll tell everybody that, look, if you want a new perspective, talk to this person. Everybody wants a new perspective. Every boss wants that employee that thinks outside of the box. Guess what happens? You'll be invited for brainstorming sessions. You'll be invited to give opinions. You'll be invited for meetings. If there's a need for a new perspective, which there always is, guess who they'll call? You. And let me tell you, this is a skill you can actually develop, thinking different. I made up my mind a long time ago that I was going to think differently. So I forced myself to think differently. When an idea comes, there is the normal way of thinking about it. Then I force myself to think about the abnormal way of thinking about it. Why does it? I question, and one way to be creative is to question. So ask why. Why do you have to record this session? Why do we have to use that camera? Why does she have to be there? Why can't the camera be here? And can we test run all the different places this camera can be to figure out which is the best way to do it? So why, right? So question everything. And you don't have to question everything to your boss and ask your boss, why are you sending that email like that? Then you're dumb. Like, question it within your mind and figure out an answer and suggest politically, suggest multiple ways that thing can be done, right? But think outside the box and be creative. And then the final point is think value. Sheon talked about this, but I'm going to tell you this. You're as valuable as 4 things. Everybody is technically, potentially as valuable as each person. So you hear people say that everybody is valuable, everybody is equal, human beings are all equal. How many of you believe that? That we're all equal? Great, I have an amazing class. Please clap for yourself. I tell people that that's the first lesson I'm going to teach my kids, that we are not equal. We are all not equal. Potentially, we are all on the same level. Kinetically, realistically, we are not. So you're as valuable as 4 things. You want to write this down. 1, you're as valuable as what you know. What do you know? How many things have you read? How many books have you read? How many articles have you read? How many classes have you attended? How many seminars have you attended? How many courses have you done? You're as valuable as what you know. 2, you're as valuable as what you can do. The first thing people want to know is what do you know? But the next thing is what can you do with what you know? So you're as valuable as your execution. How much action can you take with the knowledge that you've acquired? And how many action have you taken in the past with all the value you've acquired? So the first thing I want to know is what do you know? So I check out your CV, right? And I see all the things you've learned. The next thing is what have you done with what you've learned? If you've not done anything, then yeah, you're potentially valuable. But I want to know you've been able to put those things to work, right? What do you know? 3, you're as valuable as who you know. So sometimes you don't have the ability to do this, but you know the person that you can do it. And you're also as valuable as that person. If you knew how to get Dangote, if you had Dangote on speed dial, believe me, you're almost as valuable as Dangote. Because I want to get to know you, because if I get to know you, I can get to know Dangote, right? So you're as valuable as what you know. What you know, what you can do, and who you know. And this is why an organization hires you. Some people, you hear people say, look, I'm not going to use my personal resources for this organization. Then you're not going to be in that organization very long. It's very, very simple. Because when we hire you, we don't hire you as a person. We hire you and all you know and all the people you know and everything you can do, not just the one thing that we hired you for. So we hired you to be a receptionist, but quickly we're asking you to write a mail, quickly asking you to do a proposal, and then you start complaining and grumbling. No, you don't complain and grumble. You do everything you're asked to do. You leverage all the network you already know. So if you know the ambassador and your boss is looking for a way to get the ambassador to come for a meeting, say, hello, sir, I know the ambassador. I can get him here. Guess what? Value. Your value has gone up. If your value has gone up, guess who they want to hire, who they want to keep? Guess who they want to promote? Who? You. So, thank you.